Thank you so
Hello,
much
sir.
for joining this conversation. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. It's a joy to be here.
So, what do you have for us today?
All right, it's a joy to be here. My honorable boss, it's truly a delight. And I think that it's also a very timely conversation on the paradigm shift, and that's very
Yeah,
profound. Last year, we basically officially released the book Problem Power. And when the book was officially released, I had a chat with my father-in-law, who, I mean, he's a profound, intelligent man and highly learned, well-studied. So I was trying to be very, very modest. So I told him that, I sent a copy of the book to him. I said, look, sir, please go through the book. I mean, it's a very basic book. It's a very simple book. Nothing too much to expect. So please just read and enjoy. And he said to me, he said, Apeh, in the army, in the military, we are taught that when the chiefs are down, go back to the basic.
mm,
That's very key. He said, we are taught in the military that when the chiefs are down, go back to the
mm,
basics. And we can all agree that with the pandemic and all that's been going on the earth, the chiefs are down. And sometimes when
yeah,
the chips are down, there is a temptation to look for a complex solution, you see, because we think
mm,
that the complexity of the situation requires a complex solution. But sometimes the most complex situation, the most complex problem requires very, very, very basic solutions. So, what we're trying to do here this evening with the paradigm shift conversation is to bring us back. A paradigm shift simply means thinking out of the box. And I
yeah,
talked recently in one of our summits that it's not enough to think outside the box. It's becoming even more important now to start breaking the boxes because the
mm,
world is changing too fast. You
mm,
can't keep thinking, you can't survive by thinking outside the box. The frequency
mm.
of change that we are seeing requires that we need to start breaking boxes. So before you begin to build, number one,
I
you
love
must
that.
learn to break. There are certain
Mm,
boxes that you must break. Because when you think out of the box, there is a risk of you going back into the box. So the real
mm,
demand of our time is to start breaking boxes and start building new systems, new paradigms, new patterns, new cultures. And my focus tonight is two things. Number one, if you're writing down, is to
mm,
teach us the skills of building and the types of building. How you build is as important as what you are building. So
mm,
you may be building a business, right? How you build that business is as important as the kind of business you are building. And your goal may be to build a family. How you build that family is as important as the family you are trying to build. So it's very important to understand the construct of the family you are trying to build, but also it's also important to understand the system by which you are building. What we are going to be building in this new phase of our lives is not going to be enough. How we build what we build is important. So if you're writing down, put this down. The skill of building is as important as the object of your building. So it's not enough to understand business. It's not enough to understand what it means to be an entrepreneur. It's not enough for me to lecture you about the kind of businesses you should start doing now. But how you build, the skill by which you build, is as
mm.
important as the building you are trying to construct. I want to list to you um, the four things we need to build. So number one is we must build arcs. Arcs. Arks. Arcs.
Mm. Ask.
So that's the ark in the Bible. You know that Noah's ark. Arks. Noah's ark. And that's going to be the crux of our conversation today. But I'll list out the other things. So number one thing that you need to build is learn to build arcs. Number two, so number one, you have the ark builders.
Mm.
Number 2, you have the people builders.
Mm.
Number 3, you have the value builders. And number 4, you have the skill builders. So when you write the arc builders, beside the arc building, write fluid enterprise. Oh my God, this is powerful.
It's deep.
So beside the arc builders, write fluid enterprise. FLUID. Beside the people builders, write goodwill currency. Beside the value builders, write entrepreneurship. And beside the skill builders, write acquired gifts.
Wow. Hi, it's deep.
So
I've not heard this
before.
Oh,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now
I've not heard this before.
Oh, yes, sir.
I'm telling you.
So now, so under the arc building, sir, I said the fluid enterprise because arcs may be built on the ground, but arcs are not designed to be stationary.
Wow. Awesome.
See,
wow.
Arcs are designed for the flood. When you think about an arc, you are thinking about fluid enterprise, not a static enterprise, not a stationary enterprise, not a passive enterprise, not even a big enterprise. It's a fluid enterprise. It's an enterprise that has the ability to change its shape, to conform to the prevailing climate and conditions. That is an arc. An arc is anything that represents a fluid enterprise. A business that can float and a business that can stand. You didn't get that. Now,
a business
whatever
that
you are building that can float,
and a business
and that can stand. So when you see the arc on the ground, it looks like a house. Unlike the boats, when you see an arc on the ground, it can walk like a house. When the rain comes, it can float like the boat.
Deep. This is deep.
So we must begin to see. There's a way we built. Before it was okay to build the tents. Before it was okay to build houses. But the time within which we are building now is now informing how we are building and what we are building.
Yes, sir. Correct.
So now we have established that what we need to build is arcs. My next job is to tell you how to do that building or the skill required for that building. But let me quickly run through the other builders, all right? They can come up to the arc.
Good.
My goal today is to focus on the arc. So number 2, you have the people builders.
Yeah.
And see, you're wondering, Apeh, you are here to talk about money. Tell me about how to make money. Sir Samson said you are coming to tell us about business and money. Let's talk about money and leave this act talk and leave this leave all this building talk. Tell us how to make money. But I'm telling you guys, listen now. There is a currency that will fail. And that currency that will fail is a currency of cash.
Definitely.
And you know that the Americans are planning to disburse over $3 trillion to help stabilize the system. So you agree with me that the problem that they have today in America is not a money problem.
Definitely.
Money is not able to particularly solve the problem on ground now. Because there are certain things in life that does not answer to the currency of money.
Yes, sir.
There are certain things in life as a businessman that the only currency that can afford you what you're looking for is the currency of goodwill. And the way to have goodwill is with people. You can't have goodwill with animals, with your car, with your shoe. The way to have goodwill is with people. Now, you notice that the people at the battlefront of this fight are not soldiers. They are nurses. They are doctors. These people have to be out there because of some form of motivation.
Mm.
People are the ones that are fighting the virus, not money. Whatever is happening now is being fought by people, not money.
Mm.
So you need to understand, you need to improve your people skill.
Mm.
Because many times are going to come as a business person, as an entrepreneur, that your wealth won't be able to solve certain problems. The most powerful factor in any business is not capital.
Hi.
Because you can begin any business, you can begin any business. I did it. Until maybe about 10 years ago, almost every business that we began, I began without capital.
Mm.
So you can begin a business without money, and we may want to emphasize on the issues of location. I would say location. But you can own a business without an office.
Yes,
Today we have virtual locations. Uncle Samson is the master of the digital world. He does not need any office address. So you can own a business without a building. You can own a business without capital. But you can never own a business without people. Never.
It's deep.
Never. See, anything you are doing that without you don't have people. Customers back is not a business.